Welcome to Mirror Domains and happy hockey day. I know that yesterday was the official launch of the NHL, but for most of us here in Canada, I think it starts today, guys. Yes, Maple Leafs. It's time to rock and roll, man. Start of the new season. Starts tonight. Habs, Leafs. Yeah, looking forward to it. So that's why I'm wearing my jersey today. But if you don't know, we are a movie news show. We are a live movie news show for movie fans, where we talk about all the trending movie news headlines of the day, including all the buzz that's building up for the Taylor Swift movie that opens up this week. We got some sequel news, Langoliers Reboot, Mothman Prophecies 2, that's interesting. And what's going on with Aquaman 2, man? There seems to be a lot of dirty laundry being aired about that project, and we're going to have to get into that. The Iron Claw trailer dropped. Zac Efron wrestling movie, very interesting. And yeah, of course, there's some people that have been behaving rather badly that we'll be talking about. Let's get into the top story of the day. Mothman Prophecies 2. But James, Taylor Swift is more popular. Yes, but hey, I like the Mothman Prophecies movie that came out in 2002. Apparently, the Mothman Prophecies sequel is heading to streaming, director reveals. I didn't even know that they were trying to make one. It's been 22 years now. Oof. Yeah. So, let's just see what's going on here. Director Mark Pellington has announced that a streaming project based on the Mothman Prophecies is in the works. Okay, sparkling excitement with the fans. Well, I'm definitely one of them. So Pellington has promised to reveal more information soon, leaving audiences soon. Okay, yeah. Mothman, yeah, we don't need to know that. The director behind the 2002 hit, Mark Pellington, has revealed that he's working on the sequel. So it's the director of the first one. Cool. Streaming Mothman is coming, Pellington said during a appearance at Erie Horror Fest. Erie, like Lake Erie? Little else is known about the project. Well, because, hey, you know, I follow all the movie news stuff, and if I caught wind of this, trust me, you will be the first to know, just like you are right now. So that's how it goes. Guys, I don't know if you've ever seen the original, well, the first Mothman Prophecies with Richard Gere. This came out in, I believe it was January, and this was back in the 2000s. This is when January was known as the dumping ground for movies, where, you know, the trash would go and die, basically. A horrible box office fate. But when I saw this, I was very, very pleasantly surprised about this movie. That's not what we want, James. We want news slide off. We want YouTube big on. YouTube big. There we go. YouTube big. Now this is yeah, it's Richard Gere, and it's got what, Deborah Messing. They start off this film, and they're out driving one night, and she sees this weird thing that scares her. It's like two red eyes, right? We'll take it. Yeah, they don't show it there in the trailer, but they try to investigate what happened to her. And she said she saw these red eyes and stuff like that, and uncovering all of that stuff, he starts to learn about the Mothman and stuff like that, how the Mothman appears in certain places. Indran Cold, right, was supposed to be the humanoid form of it. It was very creepy, very eerie. I think a lot of people didn't understand it at the time. They didn't quite understand what it was all about. So I would be open to a sequel. It wasn't very well received by critics, audiences. As I said, they didn't quite understand. Was it supposed to be like a creature feature or a psychological thriller kind of thing? I'll tell you this, I've watched documentaries about real life killers like Dahmer and stuff like that. And I won't lose sleep over that. But there's something about this concept of Mothman that did creep me out. People wanted creature feature. And that's not exactly what it was. Um, it's hard for me to summarize, but it's kind of like our space-time continuum and our, like, if you believe in string theory and stuff, we're all on this big sheet and we vibrate at a certain frequency, right? On that sheet, on this plane of existence. And there are like other sheets within the universe that are also vibrating side by side, alternate realities, alternate universes and stuff. And they're vibrating at a faster speed, right? So there's stuff that's going on around us that we just can't see perceptually because we're not on that plane. They talk about that a little bit in Star Trek, where there's an episode where Data goes back into like old San Francisco, and these aliens they operate on a different frequency. They operate on a different plane, basically. Phasing is what it was called, right? A different phase in the space-time continuum, and that's what Mothman is, or at least that's what, from my understanding of it. They're entities that exist within our space and stuff like that, but they're just at a different frequency that we can't see them. They can see us, but they're kind of like, they look down at us as kind of like, well, they just haven't figured out the nuances and mechanics of how this universe really works. They just seem to be caught up in their own little world, Earth, kind of thing, right? And every now and then they make appearances and try to perhaps warn us of some kind of big devastating event, and they'll show up in things like instead of car taillights being red, they form eyes. It's really bizarre, crazy stuff, far out there sci-fi stuff. That's why I liked it. And Richard Gere did a pretty good performance in it, trying to investigate what happened to his wife. Yeah, there was that angle to it that I really liked. Deborah Messing was in there, yeah. Laura Linney was the cop, right? And then the real event that did happen was the bridge collapse. That's the real thing that happened. So as far as the real Mothman kind of thing, it's just creepy because they perceive time totally different, right? So it's kind of like he's talking to one of them on the phone and it's like, what do I have in my hand? He's like testing him out kind of for his knowledge and like, what are you aware of stuff like that? And he gets freaked out that he's holding like a thing of chapstick. And it's really creepy when you think about it, if you can understand it, just the scope of it. But it looks like a sequel is in the works and it's going to go straight to streaming, as long as it doesn't go down the cheese route and they go and continue on with that sci-fi approach of it being like entities that are on a different plane. Then deal with that. If it turns into a creature feature, which some lower budget B movies have tried to do, it just becomes this typical run-of-the-mill kind of thing. Try to work with that psychological angle, right? Because that's really creepy stuff. And the whole stuff with Indrid Cold, that was really creepy too. Like he was like a vessel for them to talk to us or something like that. He tried to. It was just really, really weird, man. The lore behind it is very fascinating. So I would be up to see this. And the director seems like he would be coming back for this. This Mark Pellington. What else has he been working on? Let's take a look at his resume. Arlington Road. He did Arlington Road. Wow. I don't want to look at his producing credits. I want to take a look at his directing credits. He's got the long resume. Survive. Severing, Nightwalkers. So he has been working. Blind Spot. A lot of TV stuff. Fascinating. The Last Word. And then, of course, upcoming Arlington Road TV series and Mom. Whatever the heck that is. And then, of course, he's got Mothman Prophecies 2 somewhere on the back burners. So he did the original Arlington Road, and then he's doing a TV series. Looks like he directed some music videos for Pearl Jam. Cool. I remember Arlington Road. Yeah, Tim Robbins, Jeff Bridges, right? Joan Cusack. It's been a while since I've seen that one. A man begins to suspect his neighbors are not what they appear to be, and their secrets could be deadly. Yeah, I want to check that one out now. Maybe if it's on Tubi, that's worthwhile checking out. I like Jeff Bridges. Got nothing against Jacob Singer. Tim Robbins. All right, guys, what do you think about that? That's enough. If I get any more news about that, I'll let you know as soon as possible. All right, let's move on. Opening up this weekend is the Taylor Swift movie, Eras Tour. So I'm seeing it at 4 p.m. on Friday, guys. Taylor Swift box office, the Eras Tour heads for record 150 to 200 million global opening. That's a lot of cheddar. That's a lot of cheddar for an October release. I think that will break records for sure. And it's worldwide. It started off as just a North American release, but now people over in Europe and stuff will be able to see this as well. I'm kind of like, am I going to, like, I hope I don't feel uncomfortable sitting in the theater with a whole bunch of diehard Swifties, because there'll be some songs that I won't know from the earlier stuff, but I'm hyped, man. It's like 2 hours and 45 minutes or something, just under 3 hours. Um, and I'm seeing it in a good theater where like it's an AVX theater, so the sound is ramped up, and I want to feel just like in Oppenheimer when they showed some of the bombs and stuff, like the seats would rattle. I want to feel that. That's what I want. Um, yeah. When she comes out, I think everybody will be cheering. I don't know if people will be standing or not, um, but yeah. And they go on to talk about how it's going to break records and stuff like that. It definitely is. Keeping on the topic here with Taylor Swift, why are we talking about this today? Is because for the next couple of days, we are not going to be doing any movie news or anything like that. Um, Fall of House of Usher drops tomorrow, and it all drops in one big batch. So for the next couple of days, that's what we'll be doing. Um, but keeping on with the Taylor Swift stuff, I didn't realize that Sean Levy, the director of Deadpool 3 and The Atom Project, uh, was actually in Taylor Swift's short movie. Did what? All the Light We Cannot See director said Swift's father in the 14th made me cry for life. Well, we saw the other week when Taylor was out at the football game. She was there with Hugh Jackman, Ryan Reynolds, and Sean Levy. Yeah, so he was in there all too well short film. I guess I just was mostly concentrating on Dylan O'Brien and Sadie Sink, which was mostly about them, right? I need to watch that film again. So it's only like 15 minutes, right? Um, but that sparked, well, hey, if Sean Levy's there and he's making Deadpool 3, does that mean that Taylor Swift's going to be in Deadpool 3? Possibly, if they're friends. That's just the connection there that I didn't put together when when that story broke. Um, it would be cool. That would be cool. Just gives you a little bit more evidence to go on, for sure. But talking about that, for the next couple of days, guys, here on the channel, there are my other social media handles. We do a lot of gaming. Come join us this afternoon for some Tomb Raider, Rise of the Tomb Raider, that we usually do on Thursdays, but we're doing it today because tomorrow we are indeed going full tilt with Fall of the House of Usher, Mike Flanagan's new series, where if you've watched Haunting of Hill House, Bly Manor, uh, Midnight Mass, Doctor Sleep, he's that director. He's really, really cutting edge. So come join us for that tomorrow. We're going to burn through at least 4 episodes tomorrow. Plus, we'll be watching Survivor. Yeah, so it's going to be a big, busy day tomorrow. So come join us for that. I got to work on beefing up some of these thumbnails, but I'm really looking forward to it. Of course, my movie review for Totally Killer is up on the channel right now. A surprise hit, man. It was asked recently what movie just really took you by surprise? Totally Killer, up on Amazon Prime right now. Totally took me by surprise. And of course, tomorrow morning, we will be watching Survivor. It will be early, guys. It'll be early tomorrow, 9 a.m. 9 a.m. We're going full blast with Survivor Episode 3. And then Friday morning at 9 a.m., we'll be going full blast with Hell's Kitchen Episode 3. And we've been doing a series on this channel where I've been writing script treatments. We wrote a script treatment for what the Exorcist believer should have been. Yes. Of course, I got my review for the Exorcist believer up on the channel right now, and for Pet Sematary Bloodlines, and a movie called Nowhere that's out on Netflix. We watched a movie called The Wishmaster. And of course, then we know that we do movie news here at least 2 or 3 times a week. I try to talk about all the big trending movie news stuff. But talking about Totally Killer, if you don't know what exactly that is, there's a nice interview up on the Hollywood Reporter. Totally Killer. Director Nunchatka Khan talks about the killer swerve in creating Keanu's bliss kiss-blowing meme. I don't know about Keanu, but yeah, that's the director in the middle. She's got some talent, man, crafting that film, and I'm excited to see a lot more of her work down the road for sure. Don't Trust the Bee in Apartment 23 and Fresh Off the Boat. It was her previous works. There's a bit of article up there. Kiernan Shipka in this movie. It's basically like people say Back to the Future meets Scream. That's a good analogy. But the script is so witty. They try to use nostalgia, and they use nostalgia properly. The script dances that line of it could be full-blown cheesy kind of, oh god guys, that's just cringe-worthy kind of stuff, but they play it so well, it's executed so well, it's acted so well, and yeah, the killer's masks look like Johnny Bravo, but it'll leave you guessing towards the end of who is the killer. Is it one of these people? What's going on here? There's hints of like Mean Girls in there, if you like that. The comedy worked for me. I thought the comedy worked. So if you want to go up and read that article, I guess she did direct something with Keanu in it where he blows a kiss or something. I didn't quite read all of it because it's quite a lengthy one, but I just wanted to use it to highlight again and champion Totally Killer, because it is the better movie that opened up over the last weekend. Between Exorcist Believer in the theaters, on Paramount Plus you had Pet Sematary Bloodlines, you had Nowhere on Netflix, and then you had Totally Killer on Amazon Prime, right? What else was on Amazon Prime today? Well, regardless. Good stuff. Good stuff. Maybe it was over here, James. This notepad. Oh yeah, I never saw VHS 85 yet. I need to tee that one up because I do want to see that. But yeah, I go check that out. Serial Killers Anonymous. Is that what she's working on next? Nunchaka? Chaka? Nanachaka Khan. Still discussing dark comedy. That's that. No. Well, I do like her work, and she's going to be working with Kristen Ritter on a dark comedy. Serial Killers is what it's called. Cool. We sure are. I love Kristen, and she and I have been talking about other projects. She's another person that's so much fun to work with, and she's so surprising as a performer and as an artist. For all we've been like, it would be fun to do Don't Trust the Bee reunion. Oh, she was in Don't Trust the Bee, so she's worked with Kirsten Ritter before. If you don't know who Kirsten Ritter is, guys, she was in wasn't the CW show Jessica Jones? Yeah, there she is. That's cool. I'd like to see that pairing again. That would be awesome. All right, let's take some live comments here. Chris Schober says Iron Claw Yeah, we're going to talk about the Iron Claw trailer here in just a little bit. Um, Glass says Taylor Swift anti-hero to superhero. That would be even cooler if a Deadpool 3 cameo. And she can act. Yeah, Taylor can act. If you've ever seen that little clip of her from Amsterdam, she's really good in that. Cats, she just kind of sung. She just sung. So I don't really call that big of a performance. Christian Bird says, nice, James. Have you ever done a watch along for Tubi, Stepfather, and Stepfather 2? No, I haven't. But I do want to check out Tubi while we're paused here. I want to see if Arlington Road is there. No, it doesn't look like it is. Could it be on Netflix? Let me pull up Netflix. Doesn't seem to be on Netflix. Shall I pull up Disney Plus? Sorry, guys. I'll find it later. Oops. Let's move on. Exorcist. I talked about the Totally Killer. Exorcist reboot retool. Yeah, this is a story that's going around. Exorcist believer backlash franchise will live, but sequel changes likely. Hey, if you haven't followed our full um, writing sessions, we did two. I did a part one and a part two because I revised it, and I like part two much better. That we revised what I thought what Exorcist believer should have been. I talked very much about how it has to happen in three parts, and really, if you want to handle it, the first Exorcist movie should have been part one. So the sequel should have really been picking up with part two uh, and diving in more with Pazuzu and stuff like that, and not trying to establish its own new thing, right? Yeah, of course there'll be the new character there'll be new characters in it, but it'll still be connected very much to what the older one was, kind of thing, right? And that's what my revamp of what it should have been. So there's some backlash due to the franchise will live, but sequel change is likely. Um, Universal bought the rights. I was wrong about this. I thought Blumhouse put up the rights for $400 million to make these movies, but I guess he worked a deal with Universal. Universal bought the rights, but Universal's got to be kind of like freaking out here. Now, people have said that yes, it's not a very good movie. 23% by critics, 58% by the audience. I was really, really harsh on it in my reviews, and people would try to paint it as a box office bomb. It was number one last week, but that was the only thing that opened up. 46.5 worldwide as of now on a $30 million budget. Uh, that's like for it to be a bomb, guys, it would have to have only made 2 or 3 million, maybe 10 million on its opening weekend. That would be a bomb because it didn't make it back its production budget. It made back its production budget, so that doesn't make it a bomb. It's not going to go down as one of the worst bombs of the year. It's going to go down as one of the worst tragedies of the year because of Universal buying the rights for $400 million. So they're still deep underwater, and it's going to have a deep, steep drop off at the box office this weekend because Taylor Swift's going to blow it out of the water. We saw that. It's tracking for like 150 million plus opening. Paw Patrol is going to leap over it and be number two. It's going to hold number two. And then Exorcist Believer is going to have to fight off Saw 10 for the third spot. And I out of the two guys, I would say go see Saw 10, but I still think there's going to be some people who didn't go out and see it because they heard the bad buzz, but they'll still go see it regardless. I don't know why, but I think it'll be Exorcist Believer will be number three, and then Saw 10 will be number four, and then that religious movie that no, Creator will be number five. Yeah, there we go. Creator will be number five. So Tay-Tay, Paw Patrol, Saw 10, or sorry, Paw Patrol, Exorcist, Saw 10, and Creator will be what we'll be looking at for next week. Yeah. That's what we're shaping up for. But as far as the retooling, yeah, it just didn't really have that much to do with the first movie, and that's why I did two parts. Because when I wrote the first um, writing session, it was like, this really doesn't have anything to do with the first Exorcist movie. And when I went back and did my part two, I made sure that certain characters were going to be tied to the first movie, and not just in a cameo kind of a thing where, oh, there's a new Exorcist situation happening. Let's go call somebody like Claire from the first movie and bring in Regan at the finale as a cameo to appease fans. Like, it's like shoehorned in. It was very shoehorned in, and the way that I wrote it, it's not going to be shoehorned in. It's going to be fairly obvious that it's a direct continuation of events that happen, right? Yeah. Anyway, they got to, just because of the backlash from uh, fans, critics. Um, the buzz all around is David Gordon Green is not a capable enough director to handle this material. I will say this as a defense to David Gordon Green. It seems and it appears to be that he can drive the machine, meaning that he can be in the director's chair, making sure that people show up to time, on time to do the sets. He can call action. He can block scenes together. Maybe not all that well, but he can drive the machine. But he's just not a visionary. He's not a storyteller for some reason. That's You have to have a very strong understanding of story structure and composition to be a director that resonates with people. To be someone like like a Nana Chaka Khan. You have to understand story structure and what you're going for and what you're going to be getting in pieces to put together in an editing room to have a cohesive film. And David Gordon Green is not a person like that. Of course, he's not going to be like a Scorsese or John Carpenter or a Wes Craven. He's not like, and it's time for him to go off and go try other projects besides horror. And I think Blum and David Gordon Green will understand that they got to change course here. They've got to retool it. They got to make it about an exorcist, and that means a priest of some kind. Yeah. All right. So that's what you need to know about that story. That's Langoliers. Guys, I like that Langoliers movie. The Langoliers, Rob Savage says the remake has a good shot of getting made. Rob Savage recently directed, oh God, Jesus. Sweet Jesus. The Boogeyman, which is now out on Disney Plus or Hulu Stars or whatever you've got, guys. It's out there. Just tread that territory lightly. Don't expect it to be too scary. I was harsh on the Boogeyman. Very harsh. It just wasn't all that scary. Um, so he would be directing a Langoliers. Now that movie is ripe for a remake, but I think due to the nature of it, due to the length of the story, I think that it's got to be a series on TV again, because I would like to see the 4 hour cut of just them trying to explore what happened and stuff like that. Why did people disappear when we all fell asleep? What's going on? They get shifted in a different phase of time, back in time from everything. And that's cool. Going back to the different phases of time and stuff with Mothman and stuff. That's cool. And then the Langoliers clean everything up after time has moved on. It's a very interesting concept. So, speaking with comicbook.com, Rob Savage said this: there's still issue with the rights that are being dealt with, but they've got a good shot at this. Quote, there's a bit of naughtiness when it comes to the rights, but I think hopefully we'll be able to sort it out. We got such a great idea for developing that one from the short story. Of all the one in Stephen King's work that we have adapted, I don't think it's ever been done justice. It plays with ideas that I've never explored in horror, that have never seen explored in a horror movie. Well, with time travel, no, that has, or like different phase, it has. So it sounds like you don't seem to be somewhat of a connoisseur of horror. But anyway, to continue with the quote, the idea of time and decaying time, these creatures that are eating time left behind, there's such a great cosmic horror movie to be made there that lends itself to a film. Film is all about stretching and compressing time, so you could do so many great and playful things in the space. Yeah. So it was a short story, huh? The Langoliers centers on a group of travelers on a red-eye flight from California to Maine wake up to discover that most of the fellow passengers have vanished mid-flight, and along pilots and flight attendants. I just don't know if this guy's the guy to do it. The original Langoliers had a big cast too. I liked. Let me pull up that on 1995. It was made for TV. It was a made-for-TV movie, and it was in two parts. The acting in it, from some of the cast, like the young girl, they'd have to do a good job of hiring a young girl. The young girl who was in The Boogeyman would do a great job at doing that, because she was also the young Leia in the Obi-Wan series. Maybe that's why he's eyeing it. She's blind and stuff like that, and she can have like a, I think she shines, doesn't she? She's got like the shining ability to her or something. Um, but like the rest of the cast that filled out, like Dean Stockwell did a good job. I like that. Frankie Falston was also good. I've drinking beer warm before. Bronson Pinchot. Yeah, there's an opportunity here. David Morse was the pilot. That's right. There's an opportunity here to put together kind of like an ensemble cast, just like what's happening with Fall of the House of Usher, where it's like a big, huge ensemble cast, a good repertoire of people that have good rapport with each other. There's an opportunity there of like a bunch of people that wake up on a plane and everybody's dead, kind of, and they're all trying to solve the puzzle as to what's happening. There's an opportunity there, and that's exciting to me. It just gives me a little bit of pause, as if Rob Savage is the man to bring that to us or not. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below, and we will talk about it. All right, some live comments here. Let's go and scroll up just a tad here from where I've got it from. Hourglass says, I would have liked to have seen the Exorcist storyline similar to Fallen, starring Denzel Washington and John Goodman. Yeah, that's a good one. The evil entity jumps from body to body. Well, yeah, and it does. It did. That's how Damien killed him, right? It made him jump into his body. But, and then it wasn't Pazuzu, though, that resurrected the body, right? It was another one. I don't know. I need to rewatch Exorcist 3. That the one that with the Gemini killer. They just released new Transformers: Rise of the Beast on 4K. Yeah, we talked about that earlier in the week. They just released Boogeyman on DVD. Yeah, and they released Winnie the Pooh: Blood and Honey. I'm not really too interested in Winnie the Pooh and Blood and Honey. I'll watch that when it's on Tubi or something, and I got it for free. I'm not going to pay for it though. And you're thinking of getting Boogeyman. Cool, man. Well, I do have an appreciation for somebody who respects horror, even if it's subpar horror. Yeah, I was not kind to Boogeyman because it just wasn't. It fell prey to the same thing that what was that one that just recently came out? It it lives inside. Did I forget that? Last month, It Lives Inside. Did I forget to put that in my? I saw It Lives Inside. I went to the theater to see that. Did I not put that on my movies from last month? I think it did, didn't I? Let me pull up that. No, I didn't. So I saw 8 movies last month. It Lives Inside. I totally forgot about that. Yeah. Totally forgot about that. Damn. When did that come out? September 22nd. I saw that. Damn, I forgot to put that on my September rank. That would have been the worst film. Anyway, that would have been number 8. Uh, I said there were no good films, yeah, but It Lives Inside was a weak effort. Maybe I'll migrate that over for October release. But James, I'm gonna have to update my Excel spreadsheet here. It Lives Inside. I like to be accurate, and I can't believe I forgot that. Dang it, James. That's why you got to write down everything when you go see it. I tried using things like Letterboxd, but it's kind of like it became too tedious. But I got to be a little bit more diligent here when I'm doing this because I'm making errors here. It's easy to have missed It Lives Inside. It should have never lived at all. And yeah, if you saw it, it just wasn't all that. It had potential, but then when they got into that plastic, the makeup effects of the art department really let that movie down. When you see like you could practically see like where they were like glued on the teeth of the monster. And I was like, oh god, that looks horrible. That's awful. Shame on you. Shame on you. It lives inside. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, moving on. Where am I at? Conan. Arnold. Arnold talks about Conan. Uh, Arnold Schwarzenegger says, Conan director had me doing terrible stuff on set, like biting a real dead vulture. PETA would have a field day with that one. Ooh. Yeah, working conditions were not uh, uh, as well defined back then. Look at his pecs. Like, how does, like, the muscle there? I didn't realize the muscle did that. Like, it had, like, indentations from the top of the pec to the lower pec. I didn't know that. Oh God, like Arnold had, yeah. Whew, Jesus. Yeah, he's got a new memoir out called "Be Useful: 7 Tools for Life." He was on The View the other day, and I saw him on that, and that was a cool. And I like that how his old man always he went on to talk about his old man tried to indoctrinate him with that kind of theology of wake up every day and try to be useful, be helpful to people, kind of thing, right? Uh, that's inspirational. Be useful. Um, I like that. That's very Jedi, right? You're selfless. You think about others. What can you do to help others? But anyway, talking about Conan, I learned to ride horses and camels and elephants. I learned how to jump from large rocks, how to climb and swing from long ropes, how to fall from a height. I basically went to another vocational school. This one was aspiring action heroes. I want to watch Conan with you guys because I thought of doing a writing session for King Conan, something that's Conan the Destroyer kind of sucked though. But Conan, I'm with everybody who thinks that it's a cult classic. Uh, Crom. If you don't want to grant my wishes, then the hell with you. I'll do it myself, kind of thing. Yeah, uh, I liked it, but I think I was crushing on. Was it the blonde? There's a blonde in that one. I think I was crushing on. I can't remember, man. That was so long ago. That's why we need to rewatch it. On top of that, Milius had me doing all kinds of terrible stuff. I crawled through rocks, take after take, until my forearms bled. I ran from wild dogs that managed to catch me and pull me into a thorn bush. Ooh! I bit a real dead vulture that required I wash my mouth out with alcohol after each take. Oh, of course. God, man. Yeah, they didn't have Listerine back then, so hey, Arnold's no stranger to having some vodka, right? Did you see his uh or schnapps? It was schnapps that he said uh in his energy drink where after he works out. He was making fun, but it's kind of like here's the protein powder, cherry juice, and of course to make it hit your muscles more faster, we put in schnapps. Yeah. Arnold's a funny guy. He's a great Mitch. He's going to go down in the history books as one of the all-time greatest movie stars ever. Yeah. And we had lots of fun watching his series Fubar this year. That's up on the YouTube channel, guys. Mirror Domains. So, and I'm looking forward to Fubar season 2. And I'm actually curious about this book, 7 Tools for Life. If I can find a copy of it, I'll definitely check it out. Um, he's just so charismatic. Whenever he's talking or anything like that, it's hard not to sit there and go, hmm, okay. And yeah, he is fun with it and everything too. All right. It Lives Inside DVD, Chris Schober says, comes out on November 7th. Well, I'll be sure to get that. Arglass says Arnold is the last dying breed of alphas. Yeah. Chris Schober, I ordered a Mandalorian season 2 and 1 and 2 on eBay. Cool, man. Those are the ones. Mandalorian season 1 and 2 are the ones worth having. And WandaVision Steelbook on November 28th. That one I would like to have. WandaVision Steelbook. Let's talk about the main topic of the day. The Aquaman 2 drama and some people behaving badly. And Elon Musk is one of those people that's been behaving quite badly. Some things have come to light. Guys, this is not the right time for this kind of a story to come out because Aquaman 2 is ramping up its marketing materials, getting ready for its December release. Aquaman 2 flooded with drama. Jason Momoa allegedly drunk on set. That's troubling. I don't like to hear that. I expect a certain. We talked. Arglass just said about Arnold being an alpha and having a work ethic. And he's just got that charisma that you want to listen to what he's saying. We've got people of the same body ilk frame, kind of like a Jason Momoa, like a Vin Diesel. But you hear stories like this, and that sucks all the wind out of their character. You hear stories about Vin Diesel showing up, not being prepared, not knowing his lines, showing up late on set, and Momoa being drunk. Is if he's having issues, man. If you're having issues, I hope he gets it addressed because he does have a certain appeal to him. He can draw you in. I just hope that's not something that's a problem for him. Amber Heard, yeah, we heard the scenes that she was trimmed down because of all the stuff that went on with her divorce with Johnny. Um, the people just she wouldn't be the draw anymore, and apparently the studio wanted to get her axed, but apparently somehow Elon Musk came in and said, "No, you got to keep her." What? How is Elon Musk having any control over anything that happens in the set? Elon Musk's letter to WB and more. So he wrote a letter to WB and said, "You got to keep her." Why? This goes to Elon Musk not understanding what the heck is going on. Yeah, you've got money, but I'm like, have you not read the situation? Yeah, I understand that she might have been a friend of yours, but it would have been better for her. Amber Heard just needs to, just like Will Smith, step back from the limelight. I know it's a terrible thing. Go to work on the stage somewhere where you're working on projects that are not getting in the limelight. I know that that's like a death nail for a lot of actors. It is because getting in the limelight is hard to do. Brendan Fraser did that, where he was in the limelight and then he lost it for a while. But he came back in the right time, right? Um, and that's something that she needs to do. And Will Smith, luckily, has had the gravitas where he can take a step back, and people are starting to say, "Okay, it's been a couple of years now, Will. I'm curious to see what you're doing next. Oh, you're doing another Bad Boys movie. That'll be interesting. So that's, I know this, she just wasn't quite there, but the whole on Elon Musk thing is just kind of like, what the heck is going on with that? So let's find out here. Jason said he wanted me fired. Note say Jason drunk late on set dressing like Johnny Depp. He has all the rings too. So apparently Momoa showed up dressed up as Johnny Depp to what, throw shade at Amber Heard. He was drunk doing this because one of the early reports was that Jason Momoa went to bat for her to bring her back to the sequel as well. It's just, this is dirty laundry, guys. Others echoed the sentiment. Jason works his butt off, likes to have a beer once in a while, like everyone, but doesn't show up drunk to set, says an insider who was on London 2021. Adding 2 stars were along joking together, and he isn't dressing like Johnny Depp. He always dressed up like a bohemian style. So, yes, somebody could have confused it. Whether it's true or not, though, man, maybe the whole drunk thing could be kind of thing. The bottom line is this: it's dirty laundry. This is not the right time for these kinds of stories to come out. And this is going to be the fallout of the decision to push this movie to this year. This movie was supposed to come out last year. This movie was supposed to come out last November. Then it got pushed to December. Then it got pushed a whole year to this year. This movie was already supposed to be out. It was supposed to be said and done. WB should look at themselves and go, we messed up with this release. Because if this story came out now, people would go, what? Who cares? Whatever. But this will be the talk of the town. This is what people are talking about. And whether it's true or not, I'll be tell you honest. If he's got an issue with that, I hope he's got it addressed. But as far as the legitimacy of it all, it's very TMZ style kind of stuff, where it's alleged behaviors and stuff. It's not good. The timing of it is not good, and it's just going to fuel the people out there who've already got it in their minds that Aquaman 2 is going to be a bomb. I think it's going to be a bomb. I think it's going to have nothing to do with these stories. It's going to have to do with the story, which kind of sucks because James Wan is crafting it. He crafted this. And Elon Musk blackmailing the WB people or something like that, that's just stupid. Elon Musk had one of his litigators send a scorched earth letter to Warner Bros. Threatening to burn the house down if the actress wasn't brought back for the sequel. Why would you listen to him? It'd be kind of like, oh, what do you mean burn the house down? You're going to buy us out and fire us all? Go ahead then. How is that going to be good PR for you? It would be almost like you would buy something like a social media platform and then burn that to the ground too. Well, we know that you can do that, right, Elon? Right, Elon? European Commissioner gives Elon Musk 24 hours to clean up X, formerly known as Twitter, as Israel-Hamas conflict disinformation. That, like, one of the big things that Elon said that when he bought Twitter was that he's going to get rid of the bots. He's going to, have an open season again where you can say whatever you want to say. But the thing is that a lot of the safeguards for disinformation were to protect people from this kind of stuff from happening. And right now there's a big tragedy happening in the world. War is happening in a place where lots of people are going to be suffering the fallout from it. And I agree with this. There's got to be a cleanup of disinformation out there. Because right now, it's disinformation happening because not everybody knows exactly what's going on. You're not well informed. I try to keep up with the stories and stuff with that particular incident. But it's hard to watch. Last night I was watching some coverage of it and hearing what's happening to people being tortured and stuff. It's hard to be well informed on it when it's so disturbing. And Musk, he's had the ball for Twitter for a while now, and he's fumbled it so bad. Um, it's it's hard because I used to have a Twitter icon there on our social media bar. I thought it was a very useful tool. It's just people behaving badly. Elon has handled himself badly. People who are naysayers still go to bat for him. Oh, he's a billionaire, James, so you should trust what he says. What? Why? Just because he's got money? Why would? Because he's a genius. Geniuses have money. Do they? Yeah, real geniuses do. You never hear about them because they don't want to be heard about. I don't know. I don't know. It's just a bad situation overall. Anyway, Elon Musk blackmailed uh, the producers to support Amber Heard. He dangled his money, power, and influence to the producers. Jason Momoa is always dressed casual and has his own Hawaiian style. Yeah, it's easy to see that someone would confuse him trying to dress up as Johnny Depp from his style. I've seen his style. Yeah, it's looking like WB is going to be sold to the likes of Universal. So if this happens, James Gunn will have a short reign over DC. Well, yeah, if Universal buys out WB. The Israel Hamas conflict and stuff is nightmares. Yeah, it is. There's no easy solution to it. A battle's going to be fought, and war is happening. And I hope the bottom line is this: I hope at the end of that battle that there is a peace to be found. There's not a peace to be found by simply falling over and letting the one side walk all over you. And accepting some form of occupation. There's no peace to be found on that side. Just like what King Arthur said, if there's a peace to be found on that other side of the battle, I would fight that battle. It's just innocent people are spread out so all over that territory and country. You can't get it's fought in the streets, guys, of like cities and towns, and it's such a complex situation. My I stand on the side of all the innocent people out there that are going to be falling victim to it. It's a tragedy. How was your morning coffee? Chris Schober says it's good. It's a little bit cold now that I let it go, but it's good. I'm about to have my breakfast too. Yeah, me too. In about we're running a little bit late here. Sorry. Yeah, it's almost 11:30. But let's go in and talk about enough about. Oh no, we got one more person acting badly. Mia Khalifa, possible Playboy over. I guess she was working with Playboy about, and then she said some comments over the whole situation. I'm done with that. I'm done. I've said enough about that, and it's not really entertainment news. Let's move on. Let's talk about the Iron Claw. The Iron Claw trailer dropped this morning, guys. The Iron Claw, the true story of the inseparable Von Erich brothers, who made history in the intensely competitive world of professional wrestling in the 1980s, directed by Sean Durkin. Zac Efron, Moira Turney, and Lily James in this. And I gotta tell you this, the trailer I got nostalgia feelings based on the incredible true story. Of course, if you want to see people walk around in their gitch, uh, look at that. If you want to see a bunch of young men working out with their shirts off, then this might be your bag. Zac Efron with the He-Man style haircut there. Uh, yeah, he looks like Prince Adam there. If you're going to make a live action He-Man, there's your Prince Adam. Could he be He-Man as well? Why not? Nah, you want a big guy with a huge, big tall guy. Zac Efron's not that tall, but Lily James draws my attention. She's one of my favorite actresses. Um, and yeah, when they're crawling in the ring and stuff, and you can see that it's kind of like when I saw the WWE, it was just like in situations like this. The arena wasn't that big. It was kind of like them cutting their teeth going to these small venues and stuff like that. And I like that. Uh, at a certain point, I got burnout from the big show that was the WWF, right, or WWE now. Um, I like it going back to its roots and stuff like that. So the brothers become wrestling team and stuff like that. It's about the drama there, and I thought that it looked awesome, and it looked like the like Zac Efron and stuff. They learned to do all the moves in the ring and stuff. Like he put in his effort here, and I'm hoping that it turns out, man, because it looked good. It looked gritty. I got like shades of like just a little bit of like Creed. Like you could, like the venues were so small, you could smell the sweat and the baby oil that they would put on. Right, you could smell it. And that's what I like appreciate about those venues. And people, um, as much as wrestling, like this type of wrestling from the WWE was fake, they're still flying off the ropes at each other. They're still slapping each other. They still get hurt, and that's what you would see in venues like this. So that's what made me uh, get into wrestling in the first place. Um, all of the fanfare and big headedness. Well, everybody liked Ric Flair, right? The showmanship. Uh, yes, Macho Man had it. Uh, I like that kind of stuff. Cup of coffee. Yeah, Iron Claw. So I'm not too familiar with that with these brothers, but I am curious about this movie. Definitely one of the biggest what ifs in wrestling. Yeah, the Von Erichs would have ended up. Was it tragedy? Oh, did they die? Am I missing something? As someone who grew up in North Texas, I was in awe with the Von Erichs. It was them, then Hulk Hogan as a kid. Spoilers for Who Don't You Know. Jack was electrocuted at age 5. David died of toxic shock syndrome while wrestling overseas. Okay, so it looks like they came to a bad end. I'll learn about that as I watch about the movie, guys. I'll leave that stuff, the movie. But it was a good trailer, and it got me hyped. So when does it come out? December 22nd. And I think that looked good. It did. Um, Chris Schober says the movie looks interesting. James, even I hope Zach delivers it. The fans for the movies, yeah. Zach Efron does look good in this. Arglass Mike says, "Did you ever watch Peanut Butter Falcon, James? It was a great movie. A boy chases his dream to be a wrestler." Yeah, I did watch Peanut Butter Falcon. It was that one was a bit hard for me to watch too because of the main actor, aside from Shia LaBeouf, had Down syndrome, and to see the conditions in the United States of how people like that are treated was upsetting to me. What did you ask Chris about coffee? Do you like the black coffee, James, or do you like other kinds of brands? I drink Tim Hortons coffee, um, black, decaf, because of the quantity that you see me drink it in. If I were to drink a big thing like this of normal coffee, I'd be like, I could barely, I'd feel like that. Plus, it's hard to get to sleep at night then after. Um, I'll have a thing of, if I have caffeine, I'll have a thing of chai tea and just a small one. Or if I'm out, I'll have like a normal small coffee. All right, next. We're going on to some hit or miss. Yeah, we're running a bit of overtime today. We got just a few hit or miss. We talked about this in our roundup for yesterday, right? Didn't we? Ridley Scott confirms Napoleon 4-hour cut. I got no problem with that. Just hope the theatrical version isn't as long. I am looking forward to this movie, Napoleon, mostly because of Joaquin Phoenix. You know that he can deliver it. And I think that it's going to be a little bit racy when it comes into, was it Josephine? His mistress or whatever, his wife. And I think it's going to be very topical as he is a general winning wars and then just all of a sudden decides, well, what happened? What would happen if I just said I'm king now? Very much what's happening is sort of like what that guy in the States wants to do. Unfortunately, he's got 91 indictments against him, so I don't think that's going to happen for him. So that's a good thing. All right. Ocean's 11 prequel producer hopes that Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling movie does right by the franchise. Yeah. So Ryan Gosling and Margot Robbie are going to be in that Ocean's 11 prequel. They had good chemistry. They did for the Barbie movie. So to see that continue on, that chemistry for an Ocean's 11 prequel, I hope it's good. They're wonderful together. The more projects, even outside, that they can have them would do them amazing. Yeah. Just Ken. Next, Indiana Jones and Dial of Destiny swings onto 4K December 5th with extra content. What a letdown of a movie, guys. James Mangold, he did Logan, and I thought he was going to be able to marshal that in. Unfortunately, Lucasfilm and the whole property of Indiana Jones, you've got to deal with the committee. You got to deal with committee style filmmaking because it's the machine, and everybody's got to have their inputs, and sometimes that throws a mess of a film together, just like what Dial of Destiny was. Sucks. It sucks because you got him back for Han Solo, and look what you did with the character. You got him back for Indiana Jones, and look what you did with the character. There was just no imagination to it. You didn't bring. You didn't. You've heard me rant about it. I didn't hate it. It just wasn't that good. Do we want to talk about the strike? Nah, I don't. Let's end with this. Saffron Burrows returns in an Irish horror film, The Morrigan. We haven't seen Saffron Burrows in a while. The Morrigan to begin filming next month. Audience members disliked Saffron Burrows' character in Deep Blue Sea, and I saw that Deep Blue Sea is on Netflix right now, isn't it? Maybe we can watch that one before Halloween. That one would be lots of fun, right? I like that in the theater a lot too. Last minute reshoots were done. Yeah, we know about that. The Morgan. Okay, what's that? November 6th is when that comes out. What? Or it begins shooting? Hold on here. To start filming November 6th. Okay, yeah, The Morgan. What's this about? Give me a synopsis, please. It will follow a successful archaeologist but absentee mother who travels to Ireland to excavate a centuries-old tomb. However, within the site lurks a danger hidden from mankind for centuries. Once it is unleashed, she must battle to save her rebellious teenage daughter from possession by a vengeful pagan war goddess known as the Morrigan. Pagan war goddess. Fascinating. Irish mythology, huh? Also known as Morrigu. The name is Moor Riogain. Riogan. Translated to Great Queen or Phantom Queen. I like Phantom Queen. That's cool. Huh. Well, I do like Saffron Burrows. We haven't seen her in a hot minute. Um, yeah, she was in Deep Blue Sea. What has she been up to? Let's take a look at her IMDb. She's 50 years old. Uh, she was in Westworld, one episode. You Elementary. So she's done a lot of TV stuff. She's still been working. That's good. And she's got a bunch of upcoming stuff. The Morrigan, Black Canary. I don't, or Canary Black. Sorry, not Black Canary. That's yeah, that spinoff from Harley Quinn. That's not happening. Black Canary. What's this? It follows Avery Graves. She's blackmailed by terrorists into betraying her own country to save her kidnapped husband. Is that Kate Beckinsale? I'll watch that. We need more Kate Beckinsale. That's somebody who never really rose up through the ranks. I don't know why, though. Canary Black, White Widow, Morgan. Dangerous Waters. Saffron Burrows. And she was in Troy, right? She was in Troy. Yeah, we need to see. Yeah, there she is in Troy. She was Eric Bana's wife. Is that Victoria Pedretti or whatever her name is? She's in Haunting of Hill House and Bly Manor. Pedretti or I forget her name. Good actress though. I'll check it out. All right, guys. They just added Tubi Snake Oil series. Oh, nice. We're running a little bit over time. Who are you guys cheering for tonight? NHL. Let's pull that up. Oh, which reminds me, I didn't join my league this year, huh? Because it started last night. I forgot to put in my picks. Oh well, whatever. Habs, Senators, and Hurricanes tonight. Blackhawks and Bruins. Oilers, Canucks. So you got three Canadian matchups. Winnipeg Jets, Calgary Flames tonight. Well, it's going to be good to be back. I can't wait to see tonight's game. It'll be good just to be like, we're back on the boys are back on the ice. Hopefully, they should be poised to do decently. Hopefully this year in the playoffs. But overall, that's pretty much it for me today, guys. Come join us later this afternoon for some Tomb Raider on Twitch. And then tomorrow, we'll be going full tilt with Fall of House of Usher and Survivor, episode 3. Fantasy leagues are stressful, but as long as I finish above my brother, I'm happy. Yeah. All right. Gonna go make my breakfast. Hit that thumbs up button. See you next time. You're watching Mirror Domains.